All right, what's up, Dragon Brew? Today we have a pretty interesting deck. This is one that beat, I believe, over 500 players that had registered for the 75K tournament that was in MagicCon Chicago this past week. Which, speaking of, if my voice is a little raspy, the back of my throat's still like not back to normal after Chicago because I spoke to, I think, like 2,000 people. So thank you for those who came out. Okay, so this deck kind of has some parts of other decks that we've played on this channel recently, but takes them a step further. But this is effectively a giant combo deck that's based around Nissa Resurgent Animus. And you're trying to get a bunch of lands into play to get a whole bunch of triggers to allow you to eventually mill out your opponent. But you can just beat down with Slowgurk. So option one, your beatdown plan, right? If you can keep Slowgurk in play, you can just eventually keep building this up and attacking with them because you have a ton of things that are going to be putting lands into the graveyard. Things like Aftermath Analyst, which is great because this pulls a lot of land out of the graveyard, which is also what we want. We can use Jace at times to mill ourselves, which is awesome. We can also put cards in our graveyard with the Celestis, which is pretty cool. And once you start cycling that mana, one of the things you can do, coming all the way down here to look at this Takenuma, then you can use Slowgurk to return lands to your hand. Well, if you can get multiple Takenumas back in your hand, and at any point return lands into play with either Aftermath Analyst or even Splendid Reclamation, which is a card a lot of people have forgotten about, you return all those lands into play, a bunch of which happen to be these lands from New Capenna that give you 2 triggers, so they're producing multiple lands because you get one when they come into play. This is all because of Nissa, by the way. I know it's a lot to follow, so stick with me. But they come into play, produce a land, you get your, or produce a mana, you get your other land, it produces a mana. So now you have this whole pile of mana from returning things into play. You can, as long as you make sure some of that mana is black, you then use Takenuma, which puts more things in your graveyard effectively. You can use that mana to get Jace back, then minus Jace for 15. Then you use one of those, the other Takenuma you have in your hand, flip some stuff, get Jace back, use Jace again, mill your opponent. Right? So we have 2 ways to win, either with just big Slowgurks or just milling your opponent out. Obviously, we have a lot of removal in the form of Terror Tide, Path of Peril, Cut Down, Go for the Throat. So we have enough to stay alive with no real problem. We can find the pieces we need with Memory Deluge. You do have the backup plan of Atraxa, Grand Unifier. It does play a 1-of Urtai. I don't know how important that is, but it's in the list. They did play 68 cards, which is a little weird, so that probably stands out when you first see the list. But it does play, I believe, 36 lands, which is quite a lot. I believe that was a number. Yeah, 36. So it's a lot. There's a bunch going on here. This is one of those ones we're just going to have to play and work through it a couple times to kind of let everybody see what's going on. I think you could cut this down realistically to probably about 64-ish cards pretty comfortably. After that, I think it'd be a little bit difficult to pull stuff, but it is something to think about if you want to make it more streamlined. But the person did win with the deck, so, you know, if it worked out in that big of a field, playing that many rounds, I'm probably the idiot, they're probably the genius. But either way, let's go see if this ridiculous combo pile can actually get some wins in best of 1. All right, so all these lands come into play tapped effectively. Like, Echoing Deeps is an interesting choice to copy some of the other lands. But yeah, we'll keep it. It's going to be slower than we like, but it's not the end of the world. Oh, especially since we picked up Cut Down. That could be useful. Yeah, let's go ahead and put that in the yard. I mean, things being in the yard with us having Analyst and Splendid Reclamation is totally fine here. Go ahead and play that. We'll Surveil. You know what? I have 2 Splendid Reclamations in hand already. I don't think we need a 3rd to combo with at any point. I mean, I'll probably pay for that later, but for now it seems fine. Oh man, is this just going to be like a Dimir control deck? If so, this is going to... Okay, well, Esper Control. Still going to be pretty hard for us to win, I think. But, obviously, this was a best of 3 deck, not a best of 1. So that's kind of part of what this experiment is seeing, is it even beneficial to us to try playing this in best of 1? We do have a Slowgurk in the yard, so that's not great, but not the worst thing. We are going to need some islands, though, at some point. Or blue sources, I should say. Doesn't have to be islands. Alright, they're going to draw a card. So yeah, here's kind of the tough part in these scenarios. You're going to have to find an opening where the opponent is mostly tapped down. Or maybe goes for a sweeper when you have a Slogurk out. And then you return a bunch of lands, save the Slogurk or remove counters or whatever. And do the best you can in that regard. But I don't know what the likelihood is of that even happening. And I only have access to one Nissa right now. No, that's fine with that dying. That sort of also tells me they don't have a lot going on. I don't think they would have done that. How many lands do we have in the yard? Just 2. We have 3. One of them gets another one. So just think, if I play Nissa, we're only making 2 mana, but then we're doing nothing with it. Which is not great. We have to do Splendid Reclamations, which is better, but still doesn't do much. But I can't even cast that. Yeah, I guess I might as well run the Nissa out. Whatever. She's not going to live. The opponent's not had to kill anything at this point. Like, we kind of know that, but, like, what else are we going to do? And just not do anything this whole time. Okay, well, fortunately, one of the other creatures you find is an elf on the second trigger that happens to be an Aftermath Analyst, so that worked out. The worst part is if you just hit another Nissa. It doesn't really do much, but if you hit the Analyst, you at least get to put some stuff in your yard. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lands in the graveyard. Yeah, like I said, we assumed Nissa was going to die, so, that's fine. Comes with the territory. Alright, so now we have a Takenuma to get a Nissa back. Or a Slogurk. Slogurk would let us return multiple Takenumas and an Otawara, which is kind of nice. So maybe that's what we do. Okay, so here's the plan. I think we're just going to play this, copy the Underground Mortuary. Oh, this hat copies a land in our graveyard? I thought it copied a land in play. Oh, well, crap. That's not what I was planning to do at all. Well, I guess we'll copy this and go get an island. That was not a thing. Alright. That was a little bit weird. Sorry, y'all. I just had a senior moment there, I guess. But, you know, we're trying out a brand new deck, so anything's possible. I guess I could get the plains just because... No, we need to get another island, because we're already holding on to a Memory Deluge. Alright, we'll go ahead and play the other one of these. Does that make sense? I mean, I guess if... I mean, the opponent's got to have a counter in hand, right? Do we? I don't want to risk going for a Splendid Reclamation here. There's really no point. Plus, if they decide to play, like, Farewell and can remove the graveyard, I would much rather... I probably shouldn't even attack there. There's too many things that deal with attacking creatures now. No need to put your combo creature at risk. Though, not a big deal if they go to the graveyard. Bad if they get exiled here, actually, is kind of the big issue. March of the Wretched against this guy. Well, I was going to do something else. We can still get black mana and use a Takenuma that way, though. So, yeah, that's fine. Let's launch it. Because it's an instant speed. It's not a sorcery. So, we get everything into play. We get all these triggers. Oh, and the opponent just gave up. All right, cool. Yeah, the amusing thing is, we really couldn't do anything with all that mana. I mean, I guess I would Memory Deluge to try to set up something, since we would have a billion triggers. And then use Takenuma to get back a Slogurk, even though now all the lands are in play. But we just go from there and see what happens. You know, like, just go for it. I mean, see if we could mill some stuff maybe with Takenuma and try to go off. But, you know, it's a win. We'll take it. Oh, you know what? Sure, we'll keep this. Against Dad of War. I think I've played Dad of War before. We'll take an island. Actually, yeah, because we don't have any blue sources yet. I mean, I guess technically we do with the Celestis, but you know what I'm saying. You know, this is actually kind of tough. If this ends up being mono red, that it could be one of the tougher matchups for this deck. We did lose a couple of basics there. Always not great, because you can't really fetch for things that don't exist. This is tough, because, like, We don't want to take 2, but we might as well give them a card. I don't think it really matters. Alright, you have an adversary. Well, if we play Nissa, they either get to play adversary or kill Nissa next turn. So, I think we go ahead and play Nissa. We can at least consider blocking something to kill it. I mean, they might also have like a rage or something too. Yeah, that's possible. If so, I think I'm just going to take 2 here. I'm not going to put Nissa at risk. Like, didn't even want to give him a card there under the circumstances. Alright, we do have 3 things to get back. So we could tap Takenuma, play the other one. This goes to the yard. Then, or we could just get back. Huh. Decisions, actually. I'm like, wait a minute. There's some things. Because then we don't have a white mana, though, yet. This could get a plane, so we could be able to cast Atraxa next turn. Yeah, I think we just do that. Sounds a little convoluted, but I think I'm kind of into this plan. Go ahead and play this. Keep the new one. That makes a green. Go ahead and cast this. Yeah, we'll keep the untapped one. Those all trigger. Ooh, excuse me. How many are we going to have? 1, 2, 3, 4 triggers? 5 triggers? Yeah, we can't really cast anything else, but... Alright, we found another Nissa. Unfortunately, I was kind of hoping we hit another Analyst, but we didn't. Alright. Then the Broker's Hideout goes and gets the Plains, which gives us another mana. Unfortunately, we're just short of being able to cast the Atraxa, which is a little rough, but it's cool. And then we pass the turn. If we'd have got a couple more lands in there somehow, I would have went ahead and blown up the Analyst, but it would have only got us 3 more triggers, and that wasn't going to do a whole lot. Yep. You have a Nissa. Or you killed a Nissa. We have another one, but we can't do anything with it. But that's not really our plan next turn. Let's just block this. Yep, we're at 16, so we actually weathered the storm pretty well here, all things considered. We're going to go get a lot of things. Let's get a Slogurk. Oh, we can't, because there's just not one in the top. Well, that sucks. Let's get a Jace. Get one of these as a sorcery. Let's get one of these as our land, because it gets a forest. And we'll go ahead and get the Analyst. I can wait on that till we play Nissa next turn, I think. We'll just pass. I shouldn't have to... Yeah, I don't have to discard anything, so we're good. We should be in fairly solid shape here. We're at 16. They don't really have anything threatening us. We can block their 2 biggest threats, really, with no major problems. And we're gaining more life than we're losing, actually. So yeah, we got this one locked up. Yeah, opponent's kind of going nowhere with this one. I kind of did that in the wrong order, didn't I? Ah, well. Doesn't matter that much. We'll get green. Actually, I guess it doesn't really matter, because I could just blow up one of the Analysts anyway and get more mana. So it's all good. Yeah, doesn't really matter. I found the other Nissa. Yeah, it didn't matter there. Yeah, the plan here, we're just going to be to blow up one of the Analysts, return all these lands, so then we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Takenuma comes back into play, but we just goes back to the yard. And then we get to search out all the other basics. That gives us a bunch of mana that we can then really just like play Jace, because we don't have much else in hand. We could go searching with Memory Deluge, because we would have had enough to do both. And then probably find like Slogurk, then start cycling the Takenumas into hand. Because you can even start the combo here by using Otawara to just bounce your own Slogurk. Removes it from play, then you can just get whatever lands you want that are remaining in the graveyard. And then you can just start cycling to get Jace after you get the other Takenumas. So, kind of a little bit silly, but yeah. Survived mono reds. That's a good thing for this deck. I think I have to mulligan this. I don't think this hand does anything. Yeah, okay, this is a little bit better. Nope, this one doesn't even go get a forest. I'm going to keep it, but I don't like it. Alright, that'll have to go. I'll go get an island just because we already have Memory Deluge in hand. Probably going to have to go get a forest. Yeah, not great. Not great. The good news is right now they might be worried about something getting countered, not realizing that we do not have any of such things going on. This also does not get a forest, so this isn't helping us. But it does go get a land, so, you know, one thing at a time here. Keeps our life total up a little bit. And if something dies, it does help our Terror Tide a little bit, which could wipe out their board, which is kind of nice. So we could run out. Oh, never mind. There goes Terror Tide. That plan's gone. Like, there was no question on what they were going to get there. Alright. So here we go. We pass. They do what they're going to do. Probably Liliana. We try to search up something good. Next turn, hopefully play Nissa into Slowgurk. Oh, we won't even be able to because we have to play the green source first to be able to play. That's not going to work. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that's a bad situation. All right, away they go. Not much we're going to do about that. Go ahead and search. Ooh, all right. So Celeste, but I can't cast that. Having a forest is too convenient here. All right, so I'm going to do this, even though I'd like to have more lands in a graveyard. It's probably the wrong choice, by the way. Just want to put that out there. All right, if we go Celestis first, then Slowgurk, maybe? Because then we get at least a couple lands back. That's probably the way to go here. And then just do this. And then I can at least Nissa into Jace to slow something down for a turn. And then we'll just figure out what things look like after that, I guess. Alright, so we get to return some lands. Alright, yeah, sure. We're not really worried about the discard portion of this thing.
Finished before brunch.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, not the one that gets a forest. Yep, you got it. Okay, so now this... Oh, well, this doesn't... Well, it destroys everything but the Preacher. And I didn't go get the plains I should have gotten. Well, I could get white from this. If I cast this, I take 2. If I do Nissa into Jace, I could give this -3. Then if they get rid of Nissa, we still die, which is possible. Very likely, actually. We take 5, 6 anyway. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think we have to do this. Ugh. Not great, but gotta do what we gotta do to not die, right? And then the question is, do I use one of these or just... I'm going to do this so I have... Well, I guess it doesn't matter since we have the Celestis. Alright, I'll go ahead and fetch once. I mean, our life total does matter here. So I guess I could have made the other play, and if they attacked, I would have gained a point and just go to 1. Which isn't great, you know? But it's a thing. The other option was I could just destroy everything 2 or less. Play Nissa. Probably could have still played Jace. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. No, I wouldn't have been able to play Jace. So that would have been tough. So there were some options, but they weren't great. Alright, so let's do this. We'll get a blue mana. That can just go in the yard. I don't need to copy anything there. Let's get a blue. We're just going to play Jace. We'll play Jace at full value, actually. I don't think there's a reason to discount this. And then we'll just minus, or actually plus, to shrink that. So while they will get a benefit of a card and such, we at least aren't dying to that. Would be hilarious is if I chump blocked it and then they found a way to pump it. That would be amusing.
Sacrifices must be made.
We've at least stabilized temporarily. They can get back the Tenacious Underdog and just make Jace's life terrible over a couple of turns. But I think we could live with that, really. Now that's going to be more of a problem next turn. Oh, I wonder if the opponent is aware that they can actually attack with the Preacher and still get triggers even if they don't deal damage. They may not actually know. If that's the case, let's go ahead and keep making the Preacher. I mean, if I don't know, just play on the opponent not knowing, I guess. All right. So what are we going to do here? We have a Memory Deluge in the yard. We could get... I guess we just get Slogurk back here, right? And then see what we can do. Because if Slogurk dies, then we just get back Takenuma. And then we can get back the other combinations of cards and see what we can make happen. We are also only at 7, so getting back some of these lands could also help. But we have 1 Takenuma in the yard, so we're probably going to get Takenuma and 2 of our other fetching lands, probably. Alright. Sounds good to me. We will get back at Takenuma. Overlook, and this one goes and gets an island. I think I have a couple islands left. So let's do that. Then we can still play one, gain a life, do that song and dance. So Jace is likely dead here. I assume they'll play Tenacious Underdog and attack everything into Jace. Yep, that would make sense. Nope, they're just coming for us. They just figure they can finish us next turn, which they're not wrong, to be honest. All right. The question is, with this Takenuma, is there any way... Well, okay, good news is no cards in hand that they could make us discard. So here we actually need something like a Splendid Reclamation or something. Oh, well that's randomly useful. Wasn't thinking about drawing it. My initial thought was, if we got anything that could return a bunch of lands, then we go ahead and get get Nissa. Then all those land triggers allow us to do a bunch of other stuff. But now we have Slogurk. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, get Slogurk in hand, that only gives us 3. We need to leave up Urtai, sadly. Or else we can't win, right? So let's go ahead and gain a life, because we know that's necessary here. Puts us at 3, gives us a little bit of wiggle room. Also, if we don't cast anything, it'll become night, which is good. And then we pass. I'm just double checking. Like before I do this, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Yeah, because I could still pass and do this. We discard this. All right, sure. Like, this is a very tight situation. And this is the type of matchup with mono black. And again, the mono black, the control decks, whatever, that like you really want to be playing this in best of 3. This is where best of 1 is not particularly the best of options. We will take the action because we might find... Okay, that's good for later. So let's go ahead and discard this. So now we're starting to get a situation where if this turn goes the way we want, hopefully, then we could get Nissa back. Then on our turn, play Analyst, get all those lands, use Deluge to go hunting, and then we can try to go off. Like, this is a game of patience right now more than anything else. Alright, if they go to the attack step, then we'll play Urtai targeting the Preacher. Alright. They can keep Liliana. I don't care all that much. Like, if we have to discard, then so be it. Aftermath Analysts have to go, and we'll have to find our mana elsewhere. But it is what it is. I mean, you still attack with the underdog. I have to block, because going to... I mean, I guess I don't have to. Like, going to 1 is kind of silly. But maybe. Also, they wouldn't get their card until the end of turn, which is kind of big. As opposed to them getting it now. But they might just kill Urtai here, it looks like. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Alright, do you have a way to pump your creature and we die? No. We're 1. Okay, so the question here is, do we hold on to Aftermath Analyst or the Takenuma? I think we... I think we hold on to Takenuma. Because there's more ways for us to get mana, I think. So let's resolve this. Discarding this. Oh, look what you were doing with an Obliterator. Sneaky, sneaky. Alright. We'll go ahead and use that. I was double checking if I want to get Slowgurk, because, like, maybe. But I think I'm just going to get the Nissa and hope to draw well. That's kind of the real plan at this point. Alright, we'll take the action in case we find something. Nope, that forest is going right to the graveyard. Ardawara. Does that do anything? Dang it. What happens if we mill ourselves here? Does that do anything? Probably not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If we use 3, we have 6. And then we use Nissa. That doesn't do anything. Just trying to think, like, what I can even hope to find here. Because we have to do this just to not die. They could make us lose Nissa no matter what. We gain 1 life by doing this. Right? Alright. So we take the action. Found a Slowgurk. Well, Slowgurk's worth more than a Nissa right now, but they're both going to die just the same. There is a weird way we could stay alive here, actually. I'm going to discard Nissa. Like, this is stupid, but I can actually... Oh, no, I'll be short of mana because we need 3. I'm only going to have 2 left. Oh, that sucks. Never mind, we're dead. I was thinking I'd be able to bounce Slowgurk. And then I could get one of the other lands that let me gain the life, and I would go to 4. But unfortunately, I don't have enough mana. Wait. Oh, because Jace is legendary. Is it legendary artifacts created? Oh, yeah, or planeswalkers. Okay, cool. So this does work. Wait, does this not? Yeah. Oh, I still have to pay 3, right? Discard words or saying return to... Oh, legendary creatures. Oh, so I was right. Yeah, we're just short. Yeah, GG's. We can't win this one. I think I messed that up along the way. Oh, what do we do with this? I feel like on the draw we're supposed to mulligan this. I mean, we'd be able to cast a Deluge, but, like, I don't even know if that does anything. Alright, this at least feels a little bit safer. We'll keep this, put the Atraxa back in. I can at least do something with this hand. Like, worst case scenario, we play Celestis and set up a Path of Peril. Yep, we got mono red again. I don't know if we're going to get them this time. This hand is not as awesome as our last hand was. Land, do we need another green here? I don't think so. If it was a black one, I would have left it up just in case we feel the need to do Path of Peril in turn. Oh, that's not what this is at all. So, all right, so Path of Peril is going to have more value here. Love to see that. That is fantastic. This goes and gets a swamp. I would love to have a swamp next turn. That is great. And then we could still follow with... Oh, we won't be able to follow with Slogurk because I need a blue and a green. Well, we could have Celestis, so we can do it the next turn. That's fine. Play something else, please. There you go. I knew you had it in you. Ooh, we don't even have to waste our Takenuma. Love it. Let's get them, team. Alright, so now we bought a little bit of time here. We have some lands in the yard, so we can just lay out Slogurk first. That's fine. Block some things. Alright, love to see that. Let's go ahead and Slogurk first. Oh, again, can't yet. Duh. I could... I'm just going to Nissa here, actually. Because then we could Slogurk and Celestis next turn, I think. And that's fine. Because we're not under threat of anything. I mean, they could, like, Knight Aaron of Vios or whatever here, but we don't really care. Thalia will slow us down a little bit. Ooh. Wasn't expecting to draw a Traxa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is all we can get. So, can't really get too into that. Alright, let's do this. Get green. We'll get a forest for future considerations. Might as well just get another green, right? Only found a Nissa. Didn't find our other little elf. We could play this and then still have Takenuma available. Alright, I'm into that. This is a setup where I'd rather have more blockers anyway. And then pass the turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 if we end up not needing it. So if we don't feel the need to Takenuma, we could cast a Traxa next turn, and then I think we're good to go. Even here, if they have, like, the +2 guy, we don't care that much. Do we care if Slogurk dies here? Probably not. We just return all those lands, so sure. He can bot. He can die. We're good with it. I mean, he was going to die anyway. Just like, was I going to use Takenuma was the question. Alright. Pass turn. I mean, because we can get him back anyway here, so whatever. Opponent doesn't want to let Thalia get a piece of the action. Fair enough. We are okay with that. Alright. That works. We still get the discount here. Oh, lost one of our Aftermath analysts, but that's okay. Oh, how many? Still 3 lands in the yard. That's not quite enough, especially with Thalia out. We're losing some value there. I think we just go ahead and play a Traxa instead of being too crafty here. I don't think it matters what colors we get, but sure. Go ahead and get a green because we're already holding a lot of the green spells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I did my math right. I was just making sure. Already have white, green, and blue available. Sure. Oh, we found an Aftermath analyst. Look at that. But this should close things out. We can get an Urtai, I guess. Otawara. Jace. Splendid Reclamation. Sure. Then I'm going to have to discard a crap ton of cards. No reason to attack here. Discarding the Riveteer's Overlook. A Forest, I guess. One of the Splendid Reclamations. Actually, I don't even need the Celestis here. We're kind of good with everything else in hand. Sure. Actually, you know what? Nah, I don't know. I could have gotten rid of something. I could have got get rid of the other Nissa. Because they're not playing any main deck removal. Not a lot. I mean, there's this thing, but we don't care that much. I think we got this locked up, though. Yep. All right, then. Okay, sure. Why not? We can send this one to go get a forest and this to get a swamp. I mean, I guess that's okay. I mean, I say that, but we kind of need to get an island to set up for these deluge, right? Yeah, I think we just go... dang it. Yeah, we just go get the island. And then if we feel we need to kill something, we'll just play Takenuma to cast the... Go for the throat. That's okay. I don't think that's that big of a deal. I'd rather get that and be set up for a chance to cast this. Alright, well... We know what type of deck we're up against. Can we find enough sweepers is going to be the next question. That can also get an island, which will be good later. Let's go ahead and get a forest here. And then I think we need to probably kill something this turn with a Go for the Throat. We'll see. Maybe we don't. Well, Warden we kind of want to kill before it gets out of hand. Alright, so they're going to go ahead and get their tokens. Alright, so we will kill a Warden. Question is, what do after that? Alright, we go to 21. Which is kind of okay, right? It's not like the end of the world here. Oh, actually, Slowcurk being able to block here is actually alright, too. Okay, I'm willing to do that. And then next turn, be able to kill something and still, like, pump Slowcurk to a 4/4. Then possibly do some Splendid Reclamation silliness. Oh, we're not going to get our Slowcurk. But I do get to return some lands. That's not the worst thing here, actually. I'm good with that. Okay, do what you want to do, opponent. You got it. Alright, your creatures are bigger. I guess we do this. Play... We're going to have to do this to go get an island, right? That's got to be the play. As much as I want to have another forest, I don't think that we desperately need it here. But I need one of these to be black, so I can go ahead and just kill the Warden now. And, yeah, we'll get the other island. Get green. Not that it matters. Found another Nissa, unfortunately. Would have really, really loved for that to have been something else. Only have one land in the graveyard. We're going to kill a Nissa and attack us for 8. Nope, going to play another Warden here. I mean, might as well attack. I can only block one. I was going to say. Uh-oh. They got some other action. I mean, they killed Nissa, they killed Nissa. Ain't nothing we were going to do about it. Like, not blocking is not a realistic option. Okay, so if we waste the Splendid Reclamation, that's kind of silly. Man, this hand did not come together, did it, team? Let's... Boy. This gets Plains, Island, Swamp. This gets Forest. Let's go ahead and get the Forest. It also does get us a point of life. Not sure what all I'm wanting to do, though. Kind of spinning my wheels a little bit here, trying to solve this puzzle. If they do have... Well, there's an Aftermath Analyst. That's interesting. Alright, let's say they do have the +1 guys. We take 3, 6, 9, 12. If we play this, we can at least block something. And then I have 4 mana. I could still Splendid Reclamation, get some more mana. Depending on what we flip in the graveyard with this. We'd gain some life as well along the way. We only put 1 land in there, and it was an Ardawara. Okay. That was not the play we were hoping for. Welp. Dang. I think we still got to do it, though. And then we'll just start trying to cast these deluges next turn and just see what's up. I guess I can cast 1 now. So just make sure we get some blue mana off of these. Yep, you have reinforcements. I mean, if they have it, they have it. There's nothing we're going to be able to do about it anyway, so we can't worry about that part. Like, as much as we would like for there to be other options, we kind of just have to accept the situation for being what it is. Yeah, why not? Go ahead and cast this. Oh, you know what? I wouldn't have enough mana left over anyway. It doesn't matter. Wow, that's all that was in there? Oh, no. That sucks. Poor boy. Wow. That was bad. I was hoping to find something to set up next turn, maybe. Oh, gross. Yeah, we're wrecked. Like, unless we find one of our sweepers or something, I don't see how we're getting out of this, unless their hand's just nothing. Which, I mean, I guess it could be nothing, but I can't imagine that it honestly is. All right, we're at 5. All right, we're not dead. I mean, okay. I mean, I ain't gonna complain. All right, let's go looking first. See if we can kickstart this stuff. There you go. There's a Path of Peril and a Terror Tide. We got both of them. I will take both of these. And then we play a land. This also lets us go get a swamp. I will get black. And get a swamp. Can we get black and green and still do everything? Or are we going to be short? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Nah, I need 7. Alright, well, that's fine. We have to go ahead and use Path of Peril here. Sucks, but it's alright. We'll just play an Aftermath Analyst. Actually, you know what? Yeah, it's fine. Alright. Then we'll play the Analyst. Then we'll attack. Alright, stabilize at 6. Let's see how long this lasts. Alright, cool. Oh, man. Yeah, with this game, all the credit goes to the memory deluges because we drew very weak off those, but having that second one help us hit our key cards. That was actually pretty big. Okay, knowing what I know now with this deck, okay, at least deck-wise, if I were going to play this again, I would probably cut the Urtai. I don't think that's that necessary. Celestis was nice for sometimes just putting stuff in the yard and getting us a point of life here or there, but it also felt like it slowed us down a little bit. I kind of would have rather had like another Jace or even just like another Slowgurk or something. Like almost all the other cards I wanted more of than Celestis. So I'd probably like cut a Celestis, cut an Urtai. Like Echoing Deeps, I feel like I didn't take advantage of this card, but it copies something in our graveyard. And except for wanting to copy like Underground Mortuary or something, I mean, I guess I could copy these, but we don't have all that many basics. Like there's a point where once a couple of the basics are in the yard, the other ones don't really do much anyway. So, I mean, it is cool that it's another land that just goes to your graveyard and can be any of these other things. But it just didn't come up for us. So, I could be totally wrong on this card, and I will openly admit that. But I'm fine just cutting that card. And then we cut 4 things and we're down to 64 cards as opposed to 68. And we can more consistently hit all the things we want to hit. I like that. Admittedly, I think you could trim this even further and get down to probably 62 cards even if you really wanted to nitpick and press your numbers really hard. I think that's possible. But as it is, I would probably do this. I think this is more than fine. Also, let me add that I have no doubt I messed up multiple turns in this video. Matter of fact, one of them, I think I even said when it happened. So, yeah, this deck, very difficult to play well. You kind of have to know what you're looking for. You know, have to really make use of your Otawara and your Takanumas. That's a big deal. You can even have turns where you can use Otawara to bounce your own Slowkirk to be able to start your combo off there. And that's pretty big too. So don't undersell that on yourself. Because like if you can bounce your Otawara, get a couple of Takanumas back, and you have all the mana already, then you just start going nuts. And then you can also start picking up your Jaces. And then just mill your opponent, use a Takanuma on Jace, mill your opponent. If you're out of Takanumas, then you just replay Slowgurk, bounce your Slowgurk with one of your other Otawaras, then get your Takanumas back, and then use Takanumas on Jace again and mill your opponent out. So that's a way. I think we won a game or two with Atraxa. Opponents gave up once we were ready to combo one game. So, yeah, it can win a couple different ways. It's pretty cool. An interesting thing here, I would say, because of how this deck works, I don't think it would be wrong to play 1 or 2 Titania if you are going to play this in best of 1. Probably replacing 1 Memory Deluge, and it might be all you can do. I mean, maybe even just play 2 and go back to 66, because you have 34 lands, so that's not going to be a problem. But this could probably help a lot, because not only are you getting the 2 life when a land goes to graveyard, but you're getting the other one from that, New Capenna lands, right? So I would probably consider this, and it's very easy to get a bunch of lands in our graveyard to be able to get to the backside on this as well. And by playing this, you could have another creature your opponent might waste removal on, and not just hit Nissa and Slogurk. So while I am going to submit this list of 64 cards, I do think this list plus 2 Titanias is actually viable if you want to give it a go. And I think it'll give you yet another way to win, depending on how stuff's going. Now, that also means you want to swap probably one of your underground mortuaries, maybe one forest, for 2 of the other lands that you need in Argoth. We'll bring those up too. But you may want to do that as well, because obviously you'll need to have at least 2 of these so you could trigger the Titanias. But yeah, play 2 Titania, 2 Argoth. Like I said, swap 1 underground mortuary, maybe even honestly one of these hideouts, the one that gets Plains Island Swamp. I think you could probably do without one of those, and then that should be good enough. And then you're still at 66 cards, totally reasonable. So I'm going to leave the list as I'm about to tell you here up, but I would make that change because I do think these could be very important for this type of list and give you another out and leave you in situations where you don't get caught trying to worry about the combo too much like I was trying to do, because I was focusing on the combo, trying to make that happen for the video, and I think in doing so, I goofed it up a little bit. So yeah, even playing those could give you a little bit of a safety net. Anyway, this is the list we're going to leave. We have 2 Cut Down, 2 Go for the Throat, 4 Aftermath Analyst, 1 Path of Peril, 4 Nissa Resurgent Animus, 3 Slogurk, 1 Celestis, 2 Jace, 4 Memory Deluge, 2 Terratide, 3 Splendid Reclamation, 2 Atraxa, a Plains, 3 Island, 3 Otawara, 3 Swamp, 4 Takaduma, 5 Forest, 2 Underground Mortuary, 1 Heads Mage, 4 Broker's Hideout, 4 Obscura Storefront, and 4 Riveteer's Overlurk. Now, this deck did take advantage of some of the new cards from Karlov Manor, but if you're looking for another one, we played a Gruul list that used Disguise. It looks a little different than some of the ones you've been seeing online, and it was a hell of a lot of fun and surprisingly good. That's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.